All right, let's understand this step by step in the simplest way, as if I'm teaching someone with no background knowledge. Pushyamitra Shunga's empire, what was it? 1. How big was Pushyamitra's empire? Pushyamitra Shunga, the king who started the Shunga dynasty, ruled only a part of the large Maurya empire, the empire that existed before him. His empire included important cities like Pataliputra. This was the capital city of both the Maurya and Shunga empires. Think of it like the headquarters of his rule. Ayodhya, an ancient city in present-day Uttar Pradesh. Vidisha, a key city in central India, present-day Madhya Pradesh. Hamshlesh too, other places in Pushyamitra's empire. Some ancient texts tell us about other places in his empire. The Divyavadana and Taranatha's accounts mention cities like Jalandhara in modern Punjab, Shakala, also in Punjab. These texts give a broader picture of where Pushyamitra ruled. 3. What are viceroys? Viceroys are like assistant kings or governors. They manage smaller parts of the empire on behalf of the main king. Pushyamitra placed viceroys in some important parts of his empire to help him rule effectively. Example, in the play Malavikagnimitra, written by Kalidasa, it is mentioned that Agnimitra, Pushyamitra's son, was the viceroy of Vidisha. Agnimitra took care of Vidisha while his father ruled the larger empire. 4. Pushyamitra's conflict with Yajnasena. Pushyamitra Shunga faced challenges during his rule. One big conflict was with Yajnasena, the king of Vidarbha. Vidarbha, a region in eastern Maharashtra. According to the story in Malavikagnimitra, Pushyamitra's army fought Yajnasena's forces and won the war. This victory showed the strength of the Shunga dynasty in defending and expanding their territory. Why is this important? 1. A smaller empire than the Mauryas. While the Maurya Empire ruled a large part of India, Pushyamitra's empire was much smaller, covering only certain regions like Pataliputra, Ayodhya, Vidisha, and parts of Punjab. 2. Using viceroys to manage the empire, Pushyamitra used viceroy like Agnimitra to manage the empire better. This system allowed him to focus on ruling, while his viceroys handled specific regions. 3. Conflicts were common. Just like in modern times, kings faced wars and conflicts to keep their power. Pushyamitra's war with Yajnasena shows that even after taking over the empire, the Shungas had to fight for survival and control. Examples for better understanding. 1. Imagine a classroom. Pushyamitra is the principal of a school, his empire. He appoints vice principals, viceroys, to take care of different classes, regions. For example, Agnimitra manages the class Vidisha. 2. Conflict like sports. If two school teams, Pushyamitra and Yajnasena, play a match, the winner gets the trophy, territory. Pushyamitra's team wins and keeps control of Vidarbha. Summary. Pushyamitra's empire was smaller than the Maurya Empire, but included key cities like Pataliputra, Ayodhya and Vidisha. He placed viceroys like his son Agnimitra to manage different parts of the empire. He had to fight wars, such as the one with Yajnasena of Vidarbha, to defend and expand his empire. Ancient texts like Divyavadana, Taranatha's account and Kalidasa's play give us these details. This story shows how kings in ancient times ruled their lands and dealt with challenges, just like a leader managing a team or organization today. Sure, let's go through each part of the Besnagar pillar inscription as if you're learning about it for the first time. I'll explain it very slowly, word by word, and with examples to make it easy to understand. What is the Besnagar pillar inscription? 1. Location and importance. There's a tall stone pillar at a place called Besnagar, also known as Vidisha. This is in Madhya Pradesh, India. This pillar has something carved into it, like a message written on stone. These kinds of carvings are called inscriptions. This inscription is important because it tells us about ancient history, including the people who lived and ruled there. 2. Language and writing style. The message on the pillar is written in Prakrit, which is one of the old languages used in India. It is written in the Brahmi script, one of the earliest forms of writing in India. What does the inscription say? The inscription has two parts. Part 1, about the pillar and the person who built it. 2, Part 2, a message on how to live a good life. Part 1, about the pillar and the person who built it. 1. The pillar is a symbol. This pillar is called a Garuda pillar. Garuda is a mythical bird in Indian culture. It is a symbol often connected with Lord Vishnu and Lord Vasudeva, another name for Krishna. So, the pillar was created to honor Lord Vasudeva, whom people saw as a divine or godlike figure. 2. The person who built it. A man named Heliodorus built this pillar. Heliodorus was not Indian. He was a Greek ambassador, a representative from another country. He came from Taxila, an important city in ancient Pakistan. His father's name was Dion or Dia. Why did Heliodorus come to India? Heliodorus was sent as an ambassador by a Greek king named Anti-Alcidas. Anti-Alcidas was the king of a region in ancient India where Greeks ruled. Heliodorus visited an Indian king named Kasiputra Bhagabhadra. Kasiputra Bhagabhadra was a king from the Shunga dynasty, a powerful family that ruled after the Maurya dynasty. 4. The purpose of the pillar. Heliodorus built this pillar to show respect for Lord Vasudeva and his beliefs. This tells us that people from outside India, like Heliodorus, admired Indian gods and religions. Part 2. The message of the pillar. On another side of the pillar, there is a message about 3 qualities or steps that can lead to a good, meaningful life. These 3 qualities are: 1. Control. This means controlling your desires and actions. Don't let emotions like anger or jealousy control you. 2. Generosity. This means being kind and giving to others. Help others when you can. 3. Attention. This means being careful and mindful in everything you do. Pay attention to your actions and thoughts. The message says that if you follow these 3 steps, you can reach heaven or achieve a form of immortality, something that lasts forever in a spiritual sense. Why is this inscription important? 1. Cultural exchange. It shows that the Shunga dynasty welcomed ambassadors like Heliodorus from other cultures, including Greeks. This means that ancient India was connected to other cultures and welcomed their ideas and people. 2. A Greek follower of Vasudeva, Heliodorus, a foreigner, called himself a Bhagavata, a devotee of Vasudeva, or Krishna. This is one of the earliest examples of a non-Indian showing respect for an Indian god. This shows how Indian culture influenced people from other lands. 3. Historical evidence. The inscription gives us details about actual historical people and events, like Kasiputra Bhagabhadra, an Indian king from the Shunga dynasty, Anti-Alcidas, the Greek king, Heliodorus, the Greek ambassador. How can we understand this better? Let's use some examples to make it even clearer. 1. Example of a monument with a message. Imagine visiting a statue or monument today, like a memorial for a famous person. It might have a plaque with details like who made it, why it was made, and what it represents. The Besnagar pillar is like this. A memorial or monument built by Heliodorus, a foreigner who respected Indian culture. Number 2. Diplomatic gift. Think of how countries today send ambassadors to build friendships with other countries. Sometimes they bring gifts or build something special in that country. Heliodorus was like an ambassador. He showed respect by building this pillar and by honoring Vasudeva, Krishna. Summary of the Besnagar pillar story. Location and purpose. The Besnagar pillar is a memorial built by a Greek ambassador in honor of Vasudeva, Krishna. 2. Who built it and why? A Greek man named Heliodorus built it. He was an ambassador sent by King Anti-Alcidas to meet King Kasiputra Bhagabhadra of the Shunga dynasty. 3. Message of the pillar. The message on the pillar talks about 3 qualities that lead to a good life: control, generosity, and attention. 4. Importance of the pillar. It shows early cultural exchanges between India and Greece. It gives us historical information about Indian and Greek kings. It shows respect for Indian gods by a foreigner, which was unusual and significant for that time. This inscription tells us that even long ago, people from different cultures shared ideas, beliefs, and respect for each other's traditions. It's a window into history, showing us that people valued kindness, control, and mindfulness, important virtues. for living a good life. All right, let me explain it in even simpler and more detailed steps so you can understand everything perfectly. Who were the Shungas? 1. The Shungas were a royal family that ruled parts of India around 2nd century BCE. 2. Their first king was Pushyamitra Shunga. He started ruling after the Maurya Empire ended. 3. They ruled areas like Pataliputra, modern Ayodhya, and Vidisha. Who were the Yavanas, Bactrian Greeks? 1. After Alexander the Great came to India, some Greek people settled in nearby regions like Bactria, modern-day Afghanistan and Central Asia. 2. These Greek rulers are called Bactrian Greeks. 3. In ancient Indian texts, people from the West, especially Greeks, were called Yavanas. What happened between the Shungas and the Yavanas? 1. The Shungas and the Yavanas, Bactrian Greeks, fought many battles. 2. One big event happened during Pushyamitra Shunga's reign. Let's break it down step by step. Event 1. Yavanas reach Indian cities. 1. An ancient scholar named Patanjali mentioned that the Yavanas came close to some important Indian cities. Saketa, near modern-day Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. Madhyamika, near modern-day Chittor in Rajasthan. 2. This means the Yavanas were trying to expand their control into India. 3. Why is this important? It shows the Yavanas were a big threat to Indian kingdoms like the Shungas. Event 2. Pushyamitra's Ashvamedha sacrifice. 1. What is an Ashvamedha? It was an important ritual in ancient India. A king would release a sacred horse, guarded by soldiers. The horse would roam freely. Any king in its path had 2 choices: accept the king's authority, or fight a battle to stop the horse. If the horse came back safely, the king could perform the Ashvamedha ritual to show he was the most powerful. 2. What happened during Pushyamitra's Ashvamedha? Pushyamitra performed this ritual to show his strength and power. The Yavanas, Bactrian Greeks, challenged the sacred horse. This led to a battle between the Yavanas and the Shunga army. Event 3. Battle between Vasumitra and the Yavanas. 1. Who fought for the Shungas? Vasumitra, Pushyamitra's grandson, was guarding the horse with his soldiers. 2. Where did the battle happen? The fight happened on the banks of the Sindhu River. Historians are not sure whether this river was the Indus River or a river in central India. 3. What was the outcome? Vasumitra defeated the Yavanas. The sacred horse was brought back safely, and Pushyamitra completed the Ashvamedha ritual. Who were the leaders of the Yavanas? 1. We don't know for sure who led the Yavana Greek army. 2. Historians have suggested 3 possible leaders. Menander, a famous Greek king who later became a Buddhist. Demetrius, a Greek king who invaded parts of India. Eucritides, another powerful Greek ruler. 3. Most historians believe it was Demetrius. Pushyamitra performed 2 Ashvamedhas. 1. An ancient stone inscription found in Ayodhya says Pushyamitra performed not 1 but 2 Ashvamedha sacrifices. 2. This shows he was a strong ruler who wanted to show his dominance, could defend his kingdom from invaders like the Yavanas. Pushyamitra's relationship with Buddhism. 1. Some ancient stories, like those in the Divyavana, say Pushyamitra was cruel to Buddhists. These stories claim he destroyed Buddhist monasteries and killed monks. 2. However, other evidence shows that Buddhism still in some areas during his reign. 3. Historians of the stories about his cruelty are true or exaggerated. Why is this important? 1. Defense of India. Pushyamitra successfully defended India from invaders like the Yavanas. This kept Indian traditions and kingdoms safe. 2. Cultural exchange. Even though the Shungas and Yavanas fought, they also influenced each other. For example, Indian art and coins during this time show Greek styles. 3. Powerful leadership. By performing the Ashvamedha sacrifice, Pushyamitra showed he was a strong and independent king. He united and strengthened his kingdom after the fall of the Maurya Empire. Examples to help you understand. 1. Ashvamedha as a show of power. Imagine a sending a parade across the country. If anyone stops the parade, it means they don't respect them. The king's soldiers will fight to defend it. The Ashvamedha was similar, but instead of a parade, they sent a sacred horse. 2. Yavanas. reaching Indian cities. Imagine a group of foreign soldiers trying to capture cities near your home. This is how the Yavanas threatened Saketa and Madhyamika.
Summary 1.
Shungas versus Yavanas. The Yavanas, Bactrian Greeks, tried to invade Indian cities like Saketa and Madhyamika. Pushyamitra fought back and performed the Ashvamedha ritual to show his power. 2. Battle of Vasumitra. Pushyamitra's grandson Vasumitra defeated the Yavanas in a battle near the Sindhu River. 3. Pushyamitra's legacy. He is remembered as a strong king who protected India. However, some stories criticize him for being harsh toward Buddhists. This was the story of Pushyamitra Shunga and his battles with the Yavanas, explained in the simplest way. Let me know if you want more details or examples. Let's break this down into very simple and easy steps so you can understand everything perfectly like a story.
Who were the Shungas?
1. The Shunga dynasty came after the Maurya Empire. 2. They ruled India for about 112 years, according to ancient texts called the Puranas. 3. There were 10 Shunga kings in total. Who was the last Shunga king? 1. The last king of the Shunga dynasty named Devabhuti, sometimes called Devabhumi. 2. What happened to him? He was betrayed by one of his own ministers. This minister was a Brahmana priest named Vasudeva. Vasudeva killed Devabhuti and ended the Shunga dynasty. What happened after the Shungas? 1. Vasudeva the Brahmana minister started a new dynasty called the Kanva dynasty. 2. The Kanvas ruled Magadha, a region in Bihar, after the Shungas. How long did the Kanvas rule? 1. The Kanvas ruled for a short time. 2. Around 30 BCE, their power ended. 3. Another group, called the Mitras, took over Magadha. Who were the Mitras? 1. The Mitras were local rulers who ruled after the Kanvas. 2. However, they didn't last long either. Who came after the Mitras? 1. A new group called the Shakas defeated the Mitras. 2. The Shakas were foreigners, also called Indo-Scythians. 3. They started ruling parts of India after defeating the Mitras. What about the Shungas' remaining territories? 1. Even after the Shunga dynasty officially ended, some parts of their kingdom, like central India, still had remnants of Shunga rule for a while. 2. Eventually, a new dynasty called the Satavahanas became powerful in those areas. Let's understand this like a story. 1. Imagine a big empire, Maurya, is gone. 2. A new family, Shunga dynasty, takes over and rules for about 112 years. 3. The last king, Devabhuti, is betrayed by his own minister, Vasudeva. 4. Vasudeva creates a new family of rulers called the Kanvas in Magadha. 5. After a while, the Kanvas lose power and the Mitras take over Magadha. 6. Then another group, the Shakas foreigners, comes and defeats the Mitras. 7. Meanwhile, in central India, remnants of Shunga rule survive for some time before the Satavahanas rise to power. Examples to make it clearer. 1. Dynasty changes. Think of the Shunga dynasty as a company, and Devabhuti was the CEO. The Brahmana minister Vasudeva was like an employee who fired the CEO and started his own company, Kanva dynasty. Later, other companies, Mitras, Shakas, came and took over. 2. Remnants of Shunga rule. Even after a company shuts down, some of its old offices might still operate for a while. That's what happened with the Shunga territories. They survived in central India for some time. Why is this important? 1. Political changes. The Shunga dynasty shows how power can shift from one family to another. The betrayal of Devabhuti is an example of how ministers could become kings. 2. Foreign influence. The rise of the Shakas shows that foreigners were becoming more involved in India's history. 3. Cultural significance. Even after the Shungas, their influence, like in art and religion, remained strong in India. If you want to explore more details or clarify anything, let me know. Let's go even deeper into this topic step by step while keeping it as simple as possible. What is Bactria? 1. Bactria is an ancient place. It was a region in history that is now located in northern Afghanistan. It was surrounded by 2 major landmarks, Oxus River, now called the Amu Darya, Hindu Kush Mountains, a big mountain range in Afghanistan. Who controlled Bactria at first? 1. A long time ago, after Alexander the Great conquered many places, his empire was divided among his generals. One of these generals started the Seleucid Empire, which controlled West Asia, including Bactria. 2. The Seleucid rulers sent local governors called satraps to manage different areas of their empire. Bactria was one of these areas, and the Greek governors ruled it under the Seleucids. What happened next? 1. Around the mid-3rd century BCE, a governor named Diodotus I didn't want to take orders from the Seleucid Empire anymore. He rebelled and made Bactria an independent kingdom. This new kingdom was ruled by Greeks, so it became known as the Bactrian Greek Kingdom. Why is Bactria important? Why Bactria's location? It was in the middle of important trade routes. Traders from India, Persia and China passed through Bactria, bringing wealth and new ideas. 2. A powerful kingdom. The Bactrian Greeks didn't just rule their area, they started expanding. By the early 2nd century BCE, they moved into India, south of the Hindu Kush mountains. What happened to the Bactrian Greeks? 1. Around 145 BCE, the Bactrian Greeks lost control of their original homeland in Bactria. Other groups, like nomads and local tribes, defeated them. 2. However, they didn't disappear. They continued to rule in northwestern India for a few decades. Who were the Indo-Greeks? 1. The Bactrian Greeks who ruled parts of India are called Indo-Greeks. Indo means India, and Greek refers to their Greek origins. 2. They ruled from the 2nd century BCE to the early 1st century CE. During this time, they mixed Greek and Indian cultures. Examples of Indo-Greek influence. 1. Culture. They brought Greek ideas, like their art and architecture, to India. At the same time, they adopted Indian traditions, such as using Indian languages. 2. Coins. The Indo-Greeks made beautiful coins. Example, on one side of the coin there might be a Greek god. On the other side there could be Indian symbols, like elephants or Indian deities. 3. Religion. Some Indo-Greek kings adopted Indian religions. Example, Menander, also called Melinda, became a Buddhist. 4. Trade. The Indo-Greeks helped improve trade between India and the West. Let's use an example to simplify this. 1. Imagine Bactria is like a town. The Seleucid rulers controlled this town and sent someone to manage it, like a mayor. 2. One day, the mayor, Diodotus I, decides he doesn't want to follow orders anymore. He declares the town independent and starts ruling on his own. 3. Over time, this town becomes very powerful and conquers nearby areas. It even takes control of some parts of India. 4. When the people from this town, Bactria, start living and ruling in India, they become known as Indo-Greeks. They bring their culture, art, and religion with them. But they also learn from the Indian people and adopt their customs. Why are the Indo-Greeks important? 1. They created a bridge between Greek and Indian cultures. Example, Indian art during this time had a mix of Greek and Indian styles called Greco-Buddhist art. 2. They showed how different cultures could influence each other. Greek kings started following Indian religions, like Buddhism. Indians learned about Greek science and art. 3. They strengthened trade. Example, goods from India, like spices, reached Greece and beyond. Recap, step-by-step summary. 1. Bactria is in northern Afghanistan today. 2. It was ruled by the Seleucid Empire, with Greek governors, satraps. 3. In the mid-3rd century BCE, Diodotus I declared Bactria independent. 4. The Bactrian Greeks moved into India and became known as Indo-Greeks. 5. They ruled parts of northwest India for about 200 years. 6. They mixed Greek and Indian cultures, influencing art, religion, and trade. If you'd like more details or specific examples, feel free to ask. Let's go step by step to explain this topic in even more detail and in the simplest way possible. What is Sirkap? 1. Sirkap is a part of an ancient city called Taxila in modern-day Pakistan. Taxila was a famous place for learning, trade and culture in ancient times. People from different countries and cultures lived there. 2. Sirkap was first settled during the Indo-Greek period. This was when Greek rulers came to India after Alexander the Great. 3. Later, the area became more developed during the time of the Shakas and Parthians. The Shakas and Parthians were foreign rulers who came to India after the Greeks. What did Sirkap look like? Sirkap was designed like a Greek city. It had straight roads and a layout similar to Greek cities. 2. Archaeologists have found buildings, temples, houses and shops, artifacts, coins and tools that belong to the people who lived there. 3. It shows how Greek culture mixed with Indian culture. For example, temples for Indian gods had Greek-style architecture. What is Ai-Khanum? Wanum is another ancient city. It is located in Afghanistan near two rivers, the Amu-Darya, Oxus River, the Kokcha River. 2. The city was founded by the Bactrian Greeks around 280 BCE. The Bactrian Greeks were Greeks who ruled in areas near Afghanistan and Central Asia. Why is Ai-Khanum important? 1. It was built completely in Greek style. The city had Greek architecture, like temples, theatres and gymnasiums. It looked like a city in Greece, but was located far away in Asia. 2. Archaeologists found many Greek artifacts, including coins with Greek writing, pottery and sculptures that looked like they were made in Greece. 3. It shows how far Greek culture spread after Alexander the Great. What happened to Ai-Khanum? 1. The city was destroyed around 145 BCE. It was attacked by nomads, who were groups of people that moved from place to place. How are Sirkap and Ai-Khanum connected? 1. Both cities were influenced by Greek culture. In Sirkap, the Indo-Greeks introduced Greek ideas when they ruled Taxila. In Ai-Khanum, the Bactrian Greeks built an entire city in Greek style. 2. Both cities show how Greek rulers brought their traditions to India and Afghanistan. Why are these places important? 1. They show how cultures mixed in ancient times. Greek ideas blended with Indian and Central Asian traditions to create something unique. 2. They help us understand history. By studying places like Sirkap and Ai-Khanum, we learn about how people lived, traded, and interacted long ago. Imagine this with an example. Let's imagine a town where people from different cultures come and settle. 1. First, some Greeks arrive and build temples and houses in their style. They also bring coins and art from their country. 2. Later, another group like the Shakas arrives. They bring their own traditions but keep some of the Greek ideas. 3. Over time, the town becomes a mix of all these cultures. This is exactly what happened in Sirkap and Ai-Khanum. Extra details to make it clearer. 1. What does Greek-style architecture mean? Greek temples have pillars, long, tall supports. Greek theatres are large, open spaces where people sat in a half circle to watch plays. 2. What did the people do in these cities? They traded goods like spices, metals and silk. They worshipped gods, including both Greek gods and Indian gods. 3. What can we learn from coins found in these cities? Coins often had the names of rulers. They tell us who ruled the city and when. Summary. 1. Sirkap, a part of Taxila, influenced by Greek culture during the Indo-Greek period, later developed under the Shakas and Parthians. 2. Ai-Khanum, a city in Afghanistan built entirely in Greek style by the Bactrian Greeks, destroyed around 145 BCE by nomads. 3. Both cities are examples of how Greek culture spread far beyond Greece and mixed with local traditions. If you still have any doubts or want more details, let me know. I'll explain it further. Let's break this down step by step in the simplest way possible so you can understand everything about Indo-Greek coins. What are Indo-Greek coins? 1. Indo-Greek coins were money used by the Greek rulers who lived and ruled in and around India. 2. These rulers were called Indo-Greeks because they combined Greek culture with Indian culture. Where were these coins used? 1. The Greco-Bactrians, Greeks in Bactria, used coins north of the Hindu Kush Mountains. The Hindu Kush Mountains are in modern Afghanistan and Pakistan. 2. The Indo-Greeks used coins south of the Hindu Kush Mountains in areas like modern India and Pakistan. What did the coins look like? Coins north of the Hindu Kush, Greco-Bactrian coins. 1. Materials made of gold, silver, copper, and nickel. Example, imagine shiny gold and silver coins, or simple copper ones for everyday use. 2. Shape and style, round in shape, had Greek writing on them. 3. Design. On one side, a verse, a portrait of the king's face. Example, a coin might have a picture of the king wearing a crown. On the other side, reverse, a picture of Greek gods like Zeus, Apollo, or Athena. 4. Weight standard. Followed the Attic weight standard, which was a Greek way of measuring the weight of coins. Coins south of the Hindu Kush, Indo-Greek coins. 1. Materials made of silver and copper. Example, these coins didn't use gold or nickel. 2. Shape and style, often square in shape, not round, had writing in 2 languages, Greek, used by the rulers, Kharoshthi, used by the local people. Sometimes they also used Brahmi, another Indian script. 3. Design. On one side, obverse, a portrait of the king, just like the northern coins. On the other side, reverse, symbols inspired by Indian religion and culture, not just Greek gods. Example, Indian sacred symbols like a lotus or a wheel. 4. Weight standard. Followed an Indian weight standard, which was different from the Greek system. Special coins of King Agathocles. 1. King Agathocles made unique coins. He was an Indo-Greek king who blended Greek and Indian ideas. 2. His coins showed Indian gods. One side had Samkarshana Balarama, an Indian god associated with strength. Example, he's shown holding a plough and a mace. The other side had Vasudev Krishna, another Indian god known for wisdom and kindness. Example, Krishna is shown holding a conch and a discus. 3. These coins are special because they show how Greek rulers respected Indian religion. Why are these coins important? 1. Cultural exchange. The coins show how Greek and Indian cultures mixed. Example, Greek kings learned Indian traditions and used local symbols on their coins. 2. Languages used. The bilingual inscriptions, Greek and Kharoshthi, helped different communities understand the coins. 3. Religious blending. Greek coins usually showed their own gods, but Indo-Greek coins also honored Indian gods and symbols. 4. History. Coins help us learn about the rulers and their connections to the people. Example, if a coin has a king's face, we know who ruled during that time. Imagine this with examples. 1. Northern coins. Imagine a shiny silver coin with the face of King Demetrius on one side. The other side has a picture of Zeus holding a lightning bolt. 2. Southern coins. Picture a square copper coin with the face of King Menander. On the other side, you see a lotus flower, an Indian religious symbol. Number 3. Agathocles coin. Think of a coin where one side shows Krishna holding a conch. The other side shows Balarama with a plough and a mace. Key points to remember. 1. The North coins were more Greek in design, with Greek gods and round shapes. 2. The South coins mixed Greek and Indian ideas, using Indian gods, symbols, and square shapes. 3. King Agathocles made coins with Indian gods, like Krishna and Balarama, showing how Greek rulers respected Indian traditions. 4. Coins were made from different materials and follow different weight systems based on the region. Let me know if you want to explore any part in even more detail. Let's go step by step and explain everything in even simpler and more detailed terms. What are we talking about? We are talking about ancient coins made and used by 1. The Greco-Bactrians, Greeks living in a region called Bactria, north of modern Afghanistan. 2. The Indo-Greeks, Greeks who ruled parts of northwest India and Afghanistan. Coins from these rulers were found in 3 important places in Afghanistan: Mirzakar, near Gardez; Kish Tepe, near Kunduz; Aikanu, a city built by the Greeks. Why are they important? Coins are small pieces of metal used as money. They have images, writing, and symbols on them. Why are these coins important? 1. History lessons. Coins tell us who ruled an area, and what kind of culture they had. Example, a coin with a king's face tells us about the king. Symbols or gods on coins tell us about the religion or culture of that time. 2. Trade connections. If different kinds of coins are found in one place, it shows that people from those places traded with each other?
Let's talk about Theater 1.
Mirzaka, near Gardez. This was a hoard, a buried treasure of coins. How many coins were found? A total of 13,083 coins were discovered. What types of coins were in the hoard? 1. Greco-Bactrian and Indo-Greek coins. There were 2,757 coins from Greek rulers. 2. Other coins included Indian bent bar coins. These are thin, bent pieces of silver used as money in ancient India. Punch-marked coins. These are coins with simple symbols stamped on them, like a tree, sun, or animal. Coins from later rulers like the Indo-Scythians, Indo-Parthians, and Kushanas. What does this mean? People in this area traded goods and used money from India, Central Asia, and Greece. This shows how connected these regions were.
2. Kish-Tepe near
Kunduz. This was another hoard of coins, but smaller than Mirzaka. How many coins were found? A total of 627 silver coins. What types of coins were there? 1. Greco-Bactrian coins. Most of the coins, 624, were from Greek rulers in Bactria. 2. Seleucid coins. Only 3 coins were from the Seleucid Empire, another Greek empire in West Asia. What does this mean? The area near Kish-Tepe was mostly controlled by Greco-Bactrian rulers. Seleucid coins show there might have been some trade or contact with West Asia too.
3. Ai-Khanum.
Ai-Khanum was a Greek city built in Afghanistan. It was a big and important city, and coins found here give us many clues about its history. What coins were found here? 1. Greco-Bactrian and Indo-Greek coins. 2. Pre-Seleucid and Seleucid coins, older Greek coins. 3. Indian punch-marked coins. 4. Kushana coins from rulers who came later. Special finds at Ai-Khanum. A smaller hoard was found with 6 coins of King Agathocles, a famous Indo-Greek ruler. 677 Indian punch-marked coins were buried in the palace area. These coins were likely hidden when people abandoned the city. Another hoard had 63 coins found in the kitchen of a large house outside the city walls. Unique coins. Some coins found here had designs never seen anywhere else. 10 blank bronze flans, unstruck coins, were also found. These are pieces of metal ready to be turned into coins. What does this mean? Ai-Khanum was a big trading centre. It had its own mint, a place where coins were made. What do these discoveries tell us? 1. Trade and connections. Coins from India, Central Asia, and Greece were found together. This shows that these regions were connected through trade and culture. 2. Greek influence in Afghanistan. The Greeks brought their coin-making techniques and designs to Afghanistan. They used Indian symbols and gods on their coins, showing cultural mixing. 3. Ai-Khanum's importance. Ai-Khanum was not just a Greek city. It was a place where coins were made, traded, and stored. The unstruck flans prove that it had a mint. Examples to imagine. 1. Mirzaka hoard. Imagine a giant treasure chest buried underground. When opened, it's filled with thousands of coins from different regions, showing how people traded across borders. 2. Tepe hoard. Think of a small bag of silver coins, mostly from Greek rulers. It's like finding a wallet from ancient times. Picture a city with a palace, markets, and a mint where coins are made. Coins buried in the palace and houses show people to hide their wealth when they fled the city. Conclusion: coins are like small history books. They tell us about ancient rulers, trade, and cultural exchange. In Afghanistan, the Greco-Bactrians and Indo-Greeks brought their Greek traditions, but also mixed them with Indian culture. The discovery of coins at places like Mirzaka, Kish-Tepe, and Ai-Khanum helps us understand how connected the ancient world was. If you need more examples or want to explore further, let me know. Let's break this topic down step by step using the simplest words possible. What are we talking about? We are discussing Indo-Greek coins and some of the challenges historians face when studying them. Indo-Greek coins were made by Greek rulers who ruled parts of India and Afghanistan a long time ago. These coins are very important for history because they give us clues about these rulers, especially since many rulers are known only through their coins. What is the problem? When historians look at these coins, they see 1. Monograms. These are small symbols, letters or designs on the coins. 2. Extra letters and numbers. These appear alongside the regular designs. The problem is that we don't fully understand what these symbols, letters or numbers mean. What are monograms? A monogram is a kind of symbol. Example, a combination of letters like AB or delta, a Greek letter stamped on a coin. Historians think these might be 1. Mint marks, marks that show where the coin was made. Example, a factory today might stamp made in India or made in USA on its products. Similarly, ancient coins may have had symbols showing which city or mint produced them. 2. Money as marks, a mark left by the person responsible for making the coin. Why is this confusing? Sometimes coins with the same design, e.g. same king's face, have different monograms. If monograms were just mint marks, why would coins with the same design have different symbols? This is something historians are still trying to figure out. What about the extra letters and numbers? Some Indo-Greek coins have additional letters or numbers. Historians wonder if these could be 1. Dates. But this is unlikely because the system doesn't match any ancient calendar. 2. Serial numbers, numbers marking different batches of coins. Example, like numbering limited edition items today, e.g. 1500 to 500. But again, this doesn't fit well with what we know about ancient coin making. 3. Engraver's signature, a slim possibility that these letters were the signature of the person who engraved or designed the coin. How many kings do we know from coins? There were 42 Indo-Greek and Greco-Bactrian kings. Out of these, 34 kings are known only through their coins. This means we have no other historical records, like written books or monuments, about them. Their coins are the only way we know they existed. What about coins from other rulers? Later rulers like the Shakash, Parthians and Kshatrapas copied some features of the Indo-Greek coins. 1. Bilingual legends. These coins had writing in 2 languages. Example, Greek and an Indian script like Kharosthi. 2. Biscript legends. These coins also had writing in 2 scripts, ways of writing letters. Examples to imagine. 1. Monograms on coins. Imagine a coin with a king's face and a small symbol like a star or a letter A. Another coin with the same king's face but a different symbol like Del. Historians are puzzled because they don't know exactly what these symbols mean. 2. Extra letters or numbers. Imagine a coin with the number 5 or letters XYZ, YZ on the side. You might think it's a date or a batch number, but historians aren't sure. 3. Coins are history books. Imagine 34 kings who left no other records, no books, no inscriptions, nothing. Their coins are like tiny history books that tell us they existed. Why are coins important? Coins are important because 1. They help us identify kings who ruled in the past. If a coin says King Agathocles, we know there was a king by that name. 2. They show us cultural mixing. Greek rulers in India used Indian languages and symbols on their coins. Example, some coins show Krishna and Balarama, Indian gods, instead of Greek gods. 3. They reveal trade and connections. Finding Indo-Greek coins in India, Afghanistan and beyond shows how people traded and interacted. What are historians still trying to understand? 1. What do monograms mean? Are they mint marks, engravers' signatures, or something else? 2. What are the extra letters and numbers? Were they used to mark time, place, or something else entirely? Simple analogy. Think of these coins like messages from the past. 1. Imagine finding a box of old coins. Each coin has a face, the king's portrait, writing in 2 languages like English and Hindi, symbols like stars, letters, or numbers. Now imagine that you can't ask the person who made them what the symbols mean. You have to guess based on what you know about ancient history. That's exactly what historians are doing. They are solving a puzzle with pieces missing. Conclusion. Indo-Greek coins are fascinating because they hold many clues about history, culture, and trade. But they also have mysteries. What do the monograms and extra symbols mean? Why did later rulers copy the Indo-Greek coin designs? Coins are not just money. They are tiny windows into the past, helping us learn about kings, cultures, and connections in ancient times. Let's break it down further and make it as simple and detailed as possible, step by step. Imagine I'm explaining to someone who is completely new to history and ancient coins. Indo-Greek kings, what we know from their coins. 1. What are Indo-Greek kings? Indo-Greek kings were rulers who came from Greek culture but ruled parts of India and Afghanistan long ago. Their coins are one of the main ways we know about them because written records about their rule are very few. 2. What do coins tell us about Indo-Greek kings? 1. Their names. Many kings' names like Demetrius Thurs, Pantaleon, Apollodotus and Agathocles are known because their coins had their names written on them. Without coins, we wouldn't even know some of these kings existed. 2. What we don't know. The coins don't tell us everything. For example, how long did each king rule? This is called their reign. Who ruled before or after whom? This is called the sequence or chronology of kings. How much land did they control? This is called their political extent or territory. For 3, why is their history confusing? 1. Many kings in a short time. There were a lot of kings ruling during a short period. This suggests that some kings ruled at the same time but in different parts of the region. Bub 2. Overstruck coins. What is an overstruck coin? Sometimes a king would stamp his design over the coins of another king. This means the first king's coin was reused by the new king. Why did they do this? It could mean the two kings were enemies and one defeated the other. Or it could mean one king succeeded, replaced the other. Imagine a coin with King A's face on it. After a battle, King B takes over and stamps his own face on top of the coin to show he's now the ruler. After 4, where did Indo-Greek kings rule? South of Hindu Kush. The Hindu Kush is a large mountain range in Afghanistan. The Indo-Greek kings expanded their rule to the south of this mountain range into parts of northwestern India. 2. Famous kings who expanded rule. Demetrius Urs, Demetrius the Sec, Apollodotus, Pantaleon and Agathocles were the main kings who extended their territories. Ash 5. What happened between the kings? 1. Feud between two houses. A feud, a long fight or rivalry, broke out between two ruling families. House of Euthydemus, House of Eucrates. 2. Where did the feud start? After the reign of Demetrius Urs, the rivalry began and lasted for many years. 3. Famous kings of the House of Eucratides. Kings like Amyntas, Antialcidas, Archibius and Hermaeus belonged to the Eucratides family. Bash 6. Who was Antialcidas and why is he important? 1. Antialcidas. He was a king from the Eucratides family. 2. Besnagar pillar inscription. A stone pillar found in Besnagar, India, tells us about Antialcidas. It says he sent an ambassador, a person representing the king, named Heliodorus to the city of Taxila. The 3, what does this mean? This tells us that Antialcidas ruled up to Taxila, which was an important city in ancient India. 4, who was Heliodorus? Heliodorus was the king's ambassador. The inscription says Heliodorus was from Taxila, meaning he was a local person sent to represent the king. Tax 7. Let's understand with examples. 1. Too many kings. Imagine a classroom with many students fighting over who gets to sit in the front row. Some students might share the seat at the same time, while others fight and take over. 2. Overstruck coins. Think of a notebook where one student writes their name, but later another student crosses it out and writes their own name. This shows who currently owns the notebook. Similarly, overstruck coins show who was the ruler at different times. 3. Ambassadors. Imagine King Antialcidas wants to send a message to another city. He sends someone like Heliodorus to represent him and make sure his message is understood. 8. Why are Indo-Greek coins important? 1. Coins help us understand history. Even though we don't have written stories about these kings, their coins give us clues about their names, rule and beliefs. 2. Cultural mix. Indo-Greek kings ruled areas where Greek culture and Indian culture mixed. Their coins and inscriptions show how these two cultures influenced each other. The 3. Mysteries still unsolved. Historians are still trying to figure out the exact order of the kings, how much land each king ruled, what the symbols and inscriptions on the coins mean. 9. Conclusion. Indo-Greek coins are like history books in metal form. They tell us the names of kings, their conflicts, and their territories. They also show how Greek and Indian cultures mixed. Even though much of their history is still unclear, every coin is a clue that helps us understand a little more. Coins are more than money. They're keys to the past. Who was Menander? Menander was an Indo-Greek king, one of the most famous rulers of the Indo-Greek kingdom. In Indian history, he is also called King Milinda. What makes Menander special? Menander isn't just famous for being a king. He is known because he was a curious person who loved to learn. A Buddhist text called the Milinda Panha, Questions of Milinda, talks about him. What is the Milinda Panha? This text is like a conversation between Menander and a wise Buddhist monk named Nagasena. In it, Menander asks many deep and tricky questions about life, death, and Buddhism. Nagasena answers all his questions in a simple and wise way. Where did Menander rule? Menander's kingdom was large. It covered parts of Bactria, modern-day Afghanistan, and northwestern India, modern-day Pakistan. Evidence about Menander. 1. Buddha's relics in Bajor, now in Pakistan. Archaeologists found a special casket, a box. The box has a writing in an old script called Kharoshthi. It says that during the rule of a king called Menendra, likely Menander, relics of the Buddha were kept in a stupa, a Buddhist shrine. This shows Menander was connected to Buddhism. 2. Plutarch's story. A Greek historian named Plutarch wrote about Menander. He said that after Menander's death, people fought over his ashes, his remains after cremation. Why? Because he was so loved and respected by everyone. What happened after Menander died? 1. End of Greek rule in Bactria. In the late 2nd century BCE, the Parthians, a group from Iran, defeated another Indo-Greek king, Hermaeus. This marked the end of Greek rule in Bactria. But Indo-Greek kings continued to rule in northwestern India for a while. 2. Famous rulers after Menander. One important ruler after Menander was Queen Agathoclea. She ruled along with her son, Strato. They issued coins together showing their names and faces. 3. Why did Agathoclea rule? Strato was probably too young to rule alone. His mother, Agathoclea, ruled as his guardian until he grew up. The end of Indo-Greek rule. 1. Conflicts with invaders. The Indo-Greek rulers faced attacks from powerful groups like the Parthians and the Shakas, nomadic warriors from Central Asia. These attacks weakened their kingdom, especially in the Gandhara region, now in Pakistan. 2. Defeat by the Kshatrapas. Finally, in the late 1st century BCE or early 1st century CE, the Indo-Greeks were defeated by a ruler named Rajavula of the Kshatrapa dynasty. This ended their rule in areas east of the Chellam River. What did the Indo-Greeks leave behind? 1. Gandhara school of art. The Indo-Greeks left a big mark on Indian culture, especially in art. They started the Gandhara school of art, which mixed Greek and Indian styles. 2. What is Gandhara art? It's a style of making statues and carvings. For example, Buddha statues from this period often look like Greek gods. The Buddha is shown with curly hair, a peaceful face, and robes like those worn by Greek philosophers. 3. Why is Gandhara art important? It shows how different cultures, Greek and Indian, came together to create something beautiful and new. Key points to remember. 1. Menander, King Milinda, was the most famous Indo-Greek ruler. 2. He was a Buddhist king who asked deep questions to a monk named Nagasena. 3. The Indo-Greek kingdom was large but eventually fell due to invasions. 4. They left behind great art, Gandhara art, and cultural ideas that blended Greek and Indian traditions. Examples to make it clear. 1. Menander's questions. Imagine a student, Menander, sitting with a wise teacher and asking, what happens after we die? The teacher calmly explains, just like in the Milinda Panha. 2. Coins of Agathoclea and Strato. Think of a coin with a mother's face on one side, Agatha Clare, and her son's face on the other, Strato. This shows they ruled together. 3.
Gandhara art!
Picture a statue of the Buddha that looks like a Greek god with a mix of Indian and Greek features. That's Gandhara art, an example of how two cultures combined. Conclusion. The Indo-Greek rulers, especially Menander, were not just kings. They were learners, thinkers, and influencers. They brought Greek and Indian ideas together. Their art, coins, and stories still teach us about cultural exchange and history. Now you know why Menander and the Indo-Greeks are so important.